Welcome to the podcast. Súbele volumen. Conversation with the people who were with me. In the world TV. Carlos tonight. Historias de un reportero. Carlos tonight. Dale que viene lo bueno.
Hey everyone, it's Carlos tonight, and this week I want to introduce you to someone very special to me. We've hung out in Chicago, in Dallas, in San Diego, and we went to Canada together, and most recently to New York City. My soon-to-be 18-year-old nephew, Michael Fernandez, live and direct from Miami, Florida. What's up, Michael? How are you?
First of all, it's a pleasure, you having me on the show. I mean, you're my uncle. Of course, I love your work. I love the podcast you do, and it's very inspirational. I'm pretty good as well. How about you?
I'm doing good. I've been getting a lot of emails recently from fans asking about the show and about my TV career. And one of the questions was, have you ever interviewed a family member? And the answer to that is no, unfortunately. I've connected the media to family members for stories, but I never had the opportunity to interview any of you until now. So that's the reason why I wanted to bring Michael on the show, and because this weekend is a special weekend for you and your twin brother, Brandon. My nephews are turning 18 years old. How's it feel?
Today a very funny thing happened. I actually signed my first field trip form by myself since I'm 18 now, and it kind of hit me, right, that I barely know what I'm doing at this age. I mean, it's a learning experience, obviously, but it is crazy having that responsibility.
Do you have any plans for your birthday?
Personally,
by the way, that's you.
That's me.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Was that at Johnny Rockets at Southland Mall over here? It looks like it.
I'm trying to get that. Yeah.
Oh, it's not Johnny Rockets. I don't know where that was. I don't remember it, but my plans for my 18th birthday, what my grandfather does every year for my birthday, we end up getting breakfast at either McDonald's or Burger King. He's started doing this more recently since I was turning 16. But at this point, it's become more of a traditional thing, right? He gets me and my brother breakfast. And from there, I want to go pick up a VR headset that my friend's been wanting to sell for a while. It's an Oculus Rift. Yeah, it's an Oculus Quest 2, my bad, or Meta Quest as Facebook is calling it now. I've been interested. Right. I've been interested in it for a while because I think VR is a really new water that game developers are now touching, and I want to get on that trend because it seems very interesting. And then I'm gonna visit my mother for a little bit because she's been in the hospital recently, pretty much the entire month. But I'm gonna visit her for a little bit and celebrate my birthday there, and then from there come back home, start installing everything I need for the VR headset, and then later in the night, we're gonna actually probably go to the Cheesecake Factory around here, and then I'm gonna invite my girlfriend as well to come so she can celebrate with us. So there's that.
Nice. Okay. All right. So besides your birthday this weekend, you're also graduating from high school next month. How are you feeling as you get ready to walk across that stage? Are you sad to say goodbye to your high school friends and your high school life?
I'm not entirely too sad. But I think reason being is because I would say high school has gotten very repetitive. Yeah. Especially this senior year, as we're all coming back from the pandemic that hit us back in my sophomore year, and that pretty much took 1 year and a half from our whole high school years. It's
been a while since I graduated from high school, and I can't. I was going to ask you, what's one or two things that you're going to miss about high school? I'll go first. But as I was asking the question, I was like, I don't even remember anything about high school except for writing in the school newspaper and being part of the video club and just getting to meet different people, because my high school was filled with different cultures and backgrounds, so I was learning from all of them. But there's not a particular thing that I would miss. How about you?
I would say what I would miss is a few of my friends. They're under my grade level. They're 11th graders. They're part of my girlfriend's graduating class, which is the class of 2023, and they have been the most wonderful and most supportive people I've ever been around. They look up to me as someone older, which is it's nice, but it's also someone around my age group who have similar interests as me, as my graduating class doesn't really have the same interests as me as the class of 2023. However, they have very similar interests as me. And one other thing I am going to miss is the gaming club. The gaming club has been very influential to me. It was a home where it's a home away from home, basically. I met so many wonderful people, so many amazing experiences that I could never, right, like buy with cash, because it's just so wonderful having all these people around me that support me and just coming together as a community. It's amazing.
Awesome. Michael, are you nervous about heading into college?
Yes. I'm going to be, again, an undergraduate at this point. I'm going to be, pretty much a freshman in college. But I think the one thing I fear most is getting lost in campus.
Yeah,
campus
I felt the same way.
Yeah, it's huge, apparently, which makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I couldn't. I would get lost, and then I didn't have that structure of high school anymore. So it was pretty much on my own, and you're going to experience that too. So don't mess up. For many of us in the family, it's hard to believe that you're about to start college in the fall because we used to change your diapers. In fact, I started my television career a few months before you and your brother were born. Wow. I'm curious, what early memory do you have growing up?
Earliest memory. I think I was at either age 3 or 4. I remember like being in the same room as my brother. It was my sister's old room. It was this big spacious room, and I remember waking up, eating breakfast that day, and I think me and my brother ended up going to the backyard, hanging out and just not doing much or watching TV. I would also say pre-K. I remember a little bit of pre-K. Again, a lot of this is a haze because this happened.
You don't remember any of that?
Barely. This was 15 years ago. I was 3. I think daycare is something I also sort of remember. My brother and I were in different classes. I remember he had more of the technology. He had more of the computers in my class, while I had more of a hands-on approach, right, with learning, as he had more of a technological approach with learning, which, seeing how those two things mix up, where I'm more technologically advanced now because I'm learning about PCs while he's more focused on hands-on approaches, is very ironic to me. It's very funny.
Do you remember this one?
I remember this one. This was the one
you
I
do?
remember clearly. Yeah, I remember the day we took that. We were just messing around, just having fun. I used to have really short hair. Now I grow out my hair almost every time I cut it.
By the way, that was your twin brother, Brent.
Yeah, for context, he's a very lovely person, but very stoic. Man of a few words, but when he says something, he means it.
Yes.
Sometimes.
You tell him I said hi.
All right, definitely.
Hey, Michael and I used to go to the movies a lot. And as a kid, I remember Tia, your mom, your brother, and then your sister and me. We all went to see Avatar in Chicago. It was 2019. Michael Jackson had just died. I remember we went to his childhood home in Gary, Indiana. I think you were like 5.
Yeah, I remember this vividly.
That?
Not too vividly, but there's there. Hold up, because my friends are actually contacting me because they actually want to watch the podcast as well.
Okay.
But
it's carlostonight.com.
carlostonight.com. I'm gonna tell them refresh because they see the last episode, but not the current one that's streaming.
Gotcha. Okay, so anyway, you always remember your first film. My first film was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I went with Grandpa, my dad, and halfway through he was snoring. I had to wake him up. I'm curious to know, what's one film that you remember watching as a kid, like your first film, and what was your favorite movie that we both went to see?
the first film I remember watching as a kid, the one that really stays in my head was Princess and the Frog. I remember watching it with my aunt and my mom, and I think it was my sister and my brother. And I was kind of dozing off. I don't remember much about it. And I recently rewatched it with my girlfriend like two months ago, and it's one of my most favorite movies that I've watched recently. Now, the favorite film we had, it had to be definitely No Way Home. Not No Way Home. Yeah, no, it was No Way Home. Watching that was a very fun experience.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Now I think another one was Aquaman. Aquaman wasn't a good movie, but I think us just like kind of, making fun of it in the theaters was really like an emotional connection I had, which that was the most enjoyable part, that we both, agreed that the movie was kind of not the best, but we still had a good time because we were entertaining each other. And that's something like nothing money can buy, and it's just amazing.
I really like that you had the movie stuff from when we went to go see Star Wars.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one. Well, I do remember which one it was, but I can't remember the name of it.
Is it probably Last Jedi? Not Last Jedi. It's
yeah, because it was with Skywalker, and
yeah.
Spoiler alert, I think he died, right?
I think that's the 11th one, because there's the sequels, which are like 3 movies. I watched the 9th one with my aunt and Brandon, and then the 10th one with you. I just don't remember the name of the 10th one.
In the world, got lost tonight. Historias de un reportero.
You're listening to Carlos Tonight, and this week I'm talking with my nephew, live from Miami, Florida. His name is Michael Fernandez. You're about to turn 18 years old, and we're going down memory lane. Michael, you're the first family member I've ever interviewed. One thing we did together one year was we flew from Dallas to San Diego, where we attended Comic-Con. I had a blast. Tell us about your experience.
My experience. Where do you want me to start? With like in Dallas or like in Comic-Con?
Because it was your first time in San Diego.
Yeah, it was my first time actually really flying by myself when I went to Dallas to Texas, right? Miami to Dallas. And I'm not going to lie, it was kind of nerve-wracking to be on a plane by myself. My personal experience with Comic-Con, it was amazing. It was the most beautiful place. San Diego is a very beautiful place, especially the sunsets. It was
Tell
nice.
Everyone what you dressed up as.
Joker from Persona 5.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to meet someone special, right?
Yeah, I met one of the voice actors from Persona 4. Her name of the character is Nato. She is like this detective, right? I personally haven't played much of Persona 4, but my friends who were into the Persona franchise, that's one of their favorite characters because their whole storyline is very, very like pushing yourself out there. That's the main thing you could take away from her storyline. So it resonates with a lot of people. So a lot of people like that character, and my friends were jealous.
It was so cool because there's like thousands of people walking back and forth, and she pulled you from the crowd because she saw your costume, and they wanted to take a picture with you. And I think your head was about to explode.
It was. I was starstruck. I was smiling. I was super happy. It was like one of the most amazing experiences, being recognized like that.
And then I dressed as Beast Boy. Not a good job for Beast Boy, but for last minute.
Yeah,
putting the cosplay. Yeah. So then we went back to Dallas, and then we went to the Latino Comic-Con in Dallas, where you won second place with the costume you had on.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing, right?
Yes, Joker from Persona 5.
What was that experience like? Because you had to go on stage in front of all those people, remember?
I do remember. It was very nerve-wracking. Despite this, that whole stadium not being very filled, it was still presenting myself to a crowd. At the time, this was like my summer of my freshman year. I was going into sophomore year. I never really kind of presented myself out there. I was more enclosed with myself, which thankfully I'm not like that anymore because I'm more expressive now. I'm more open with my emotions, but The main reason why that moment was more integral to me as a person was because it taught me to express, to open myself. You know, if you asked me before to be on this podcast in freshman year, I'd probably be like a stuttering like mess, but I'm able to talk because I'm more, comfortable with it now. I'm okay with talking to a crowd of people or presenting myself.
Awesome.
Because at the end of the day, what people think of me is what they think of me, but what I think of myself is how I see myself and how I act upon myself.
Right.
And that's the most important thing.
What's do you have a comic book you're reading right now?
As of now, I don't have anything on the table. I'm still reading one of my mangas, Berserk. I'm on volume 15 now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my friends actually, they're reading it online. I personally don't like to read books online because I like having it physically. Mm-hmm. Because with my phone, I get easily more distracted on the apps. But with a book, I read the book, everything. I'm also reading right now Great Gatsby.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I love it. My teacher actually gave me this copy because I had told her that I never actually read Great Gatsby before, and she told me it's one of the best reads, out there, that I should see the movie. I'm like, perfect. Yeah. And I think I haven't started yet, but most definitely when I start having more free time, because this whole month has been really hectic.
Yeah.
In terms of school as well, because testing and everything. And then my mom being in the hospital, and then my birthday coming up. Hopefully by May 10th, I'm going to have a lot of free time.
I mentioned earlier that you like to cosplay. Do you have any plans on cosplaying in the future? What's some of the characters you're looking at right now?
So a few of the characters I'm looking at right now is Jason Todd, or Red Hood, from the Batman franchise. Because I think Red Hood is a very cool character. Robert Pattinson Batman is also up there with a cosplay idea, and me and my girlfriend want to do it. I want to be Batman, she wants to be Catwoman, so it's gonna be a matching thing.
Perfect.
So it's nice. Not really much cosplay right now because a lot of my time has been occupied with senior year. I haven't really gotten like anything to really look at.
Did you guys get your yearbooks and you're passing it around and doing signatures, or is that something I did when I was a kid?
No, we still do it. The thing is, the yearbook had a limited sale this year. I think they only had 100 copies. Yeah,
what?
I remember. Yeah, only 100 copies out of 200 graduating class, and they priced it at $75, and they didn't advertise it at all for our school.
Wow.
They did it when Grad Bash, which is also the same day as my birthday, was happening. Which Grad Bash is the trip us high schoolers at least in our county, we go to Universal, and we basically rent out the whole park for one day for our graduating class. I'm not going because it's on my birthday, and I want to spend my birthday with my family and my girlfriend, because if I went to Grad Bash, I'd probably be not really satisfied, because I go to Universal almost every year as well.
Every year, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but my friend's like, oh, you should go. I'm like, nah, like I've seen almost all of Universal.
Hey guys, I want to invite you to visit carlostonight.com. There you can find the latest information about the podcast, see upcoming guests, and check out past episodes. So now let's talk about New York. We recently went to New York. It was your graduation gift. So what was that experience like for you? It was your first time in New York.
I would say it took me aback. I remember when we got off I think it was like Philadelphia. We got off the Philadelphia train, New Jersey. It was the New Jersey train going into the station of New York, and then exiting that station, seeing the city, the traffic, the billboards. It took me aback because Miami is not like that. I live in a suburb, right? So we don't have much people walking around, but seeing like a city filled with life, with people walking around, it took me aback. I wasn't overwhelmed, but I was ecstatic. It was something new, and I loved it. I love New York. I love the atmosphere. I like the hustle and bustle of New York.
Me too. I think it was my fourth time being in New York. I can't remember. But it was my first time being there when it was so cold. And I remember it was one night that it was snowing, but it was brutally, the wind was brutal.
So 20 degrees one day. I remember, I think it was the day we were leaving New York. It was 22 degrees and it was windy.
Yeah. Another fun thing we did was we walked across the bridge and we went to Canada. Remember that?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
I thought it didn't feel much different from like Buffalo to Canada, but the one thing that did strike me as odd was where we were staying at. We were staying in Buffalo, and the thing is, it's a tourist place. Mm-hmm. So every season of every December or winter, it's a ghost town. The only three things that were open was a Starbucks, right, a Hard Rock Cafe, and a Papa John's. I'm not even exaggerating, and the casinos. But since I'm still a minor, there was barely anything to eat there. But on the other side, which was Canada, it was open. It was filled with life, and it kind of like struck me as odd. But seeing Niagara Falls was one of the most beautiful things I've ever experienced. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It took me aback.
Yeah, it was absolutely a great time with spending time with all of you and getting to see Grandpa's face when he saw the Statue of Liberty, which is this right there. That was a great favorite picture.
So one of my favorite. I showed my girlfriend that photo too, and she loves it.
Yeah, I think he had a good time, except minus all the walking, right?
Yeah, surprisingly, he was much more of a trooper than I imagined. He walked through it without complaining, like, often.
Yeah. I think everyone else was complaining except him.
Me and him, because, like, walking wasn't that bad. I think the only time it did get bad was the third day we were there, because we were walking almost every day. So, like, my legs started getting sore.
About every year around this time, I share a video of you guys on my social media, and through the years it's kind of evolved into something else, and so this is the latest version of it from 2 years ago.
It's birthday time. Let's celebrate. All right.
How about a pair of twins?
The beginning part was when you guys were turning 1 year old, and your sister, or my sister, your Tia, thanks to her, you guys made your television debut on NBC in Chicago. Do you remember seeing that video at
all? I remember someone showing me. I think it was Tia showed me that video. When I was like 14, I saw it, and I tried looking for it from time to time.
Yeah,
I can't find it because
it's one of those videos where it exists and then it just resurfaces, every other year or something.
Every other year.
Because I was trying to look for the original and I couldn't. Well, so you made your TV debut and now you made your podcast debut. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to my friend Jake, my friend Ingris, for being interested in the podcast. And another big shout out I would give is to my wonderful, wonderful girlfriend of 1 year. Her name is Jackie, and ever since I met her, like, every day has been like something, like a new experience. She teaches me about things that I didn't even know about myself. She has put me on this like lesson in life of learning and creativity. We are actually taking care of 4 dogs right now.
Wow, 4 dogs?
Yeah, we have Oreo, which is the mother, and then her 3 puppies. There's Bear, there's Caramel, there's Mocha. They're, they cause ruckus, but we all love them, right? Recently, Bear actually had fleas, so we're cleaning him up. We're putting antibiotics on him. But I don't know, just being with her has really brightened my life up. She's amazing. I hope for the best for her. If she's listening, I love you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me here.
And so your birthday is this weekend. What do you want for your birthday?
What do I want for my birthday? I'm not really too sure because with prom that's happening May 6th, I've gotten stingy with like spending other people. I feel guilty spending other people's money ever since New York. I kind of felt bad, but like my aunt reassures me that it's okay. She had this planned out, which thank God. I don't feel as guilty, but with the VR headset, I'm planning to get I kind of want a lens cleaner, because with the Oculus, its lenses can get easily scratched, and that kind of ruins the experience because you can't replace those lenses. So, or a carrying case, either one, a lens cleaner or a carry. I think there's one that comes with both, but yeah, it's a new technology that is very delicate. It is very delicate, and it's yeah.
Cool. Well, I got my checkbook out, so I'll write you a check and send it for you and your brother. And I don't like giving out money, but since I want to get the gift right, and I want to make sure that you get what you want, you know?
Thank you.
So that'll be coming in the mail, snail mail. But no, thanks for being here with me. I love you. I can't wait to see, more of you, and can't wait to see you succeed and live your best life. Thank you for joining me.
Of course, Tio. Thank you for having me here. I love you too.
Conversation with the people who were with me in the World TV. Carlos tonight. Historias de un reportero.
And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Carlos Tonight. It was written and produced by yours truly, Carlos Correa. My theme was by Skin Gales. Visit carlostonight.com for the very latest on the podcast, see upcoming guests, and check out past episodes. It's carlostonight.com.
Dale que viene lo bueno.